This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Kieron Conway over Zoom. Kieron, first and foremost, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you very much. Not doing bad at all. How about yourself?
I'm good, mate. Obviously, it's good to hear you doing well, and obviously getting ready for next week when you return to the ring. Just talk to me about kind of your preparations, Kieron. How have you found training through lockdown?
It's not been too bad because just before lockdown, my dad was managed to get his own unit, set up, with my main sponsor, S&D Paving. Between them, they got our own unit set up with everything like boxing ring, bags, and everything else inside. So I had somewhere to go. It's just like a little garage, basically. Or a big garage. I was able to go there. It's just at the road, so could just go up there on my own and train through lockdown. So I stayed fairly fit.
That's something I was about to ask you. Obviously, lockdowns it was an interesting situation for every fighter with regards to their training and how to approach it. What was your approach? Did you push yourself to kind of try and keep it close-ish to your fight, not fight weight, but within a certain limit of it, or was you easy enough? How did you kind of find the balance?
I just made sure that I stayed ready to go at any sort of notice, without overdoing it and without underdoing it. I just wanted to find a happy medium where I was ready. Couple of weeks notice, boxing's back. I'm ready. That's basically how I've kept it. Stayed nice and in shape and all of it. I always do anyway. So it weren't like I was doing anything different.
Obviously, you're facing Navid Mansouri. On the day when the fight was announced, obviously, we found out of all the cards for fight camp. But for how long was you negotiating the bout with Navid, or was it other people you was considering? It was just the Navid one was the one that came off?
This fight was meant to happen just before lockdown. So this was already basically ready to go. So when boxing came back, all we had to do was say, we'll carry that up. We'll carry that on to this one. So it was pretty easy to go.
What do you know about him? What do you expect from him?
I've watched every single fight that I can possibly find from him. Every highlight, every little tiny clip. I want to make sure I'm fully prepared for this. And I don't want to say I expect this and then he can go and change things and stuff like that. But there's lots of patterns, lots of mistakes. There's made every single clip, every single fight, and I look to exploit them from early on.
How do you expect the fight to play out in your own mind? When you're both in the ring together, come Friday night.
How do I expect the fight to go?
Yeah, how do you expect it to play out in your own mind?
From first bell, I expect to show I'm level above. I'm here fully focused on getting the job done. But I do look to move on after this fight to either British title level again, one of the big fights, and whatever. But I'm fully focused on this fight. So I expect from the first bell the levels to be shown.
Is there obviously an added pressure on yourself being the home fighter? You're the favourite going into the bout. Is there that added pressure? And if so, do you feel it at all?
Maybe, but pressure is what brings the best out of us. Like the old thing, pressure makes diamonds, and it's good to have that pressure because it brings an extra little edge. If you've not got that pressure, it's almost like there's positives and negatives to both. What's he really got to lose now? Because he's had his chances more than once as well. But now this is my time, and I'm going to take the opportunity.
We've obviously seen fight camp shows return now. What have you made of them as kind of a spectacle, as just like a kind of a neutral fan sitting at home watching the fights? What have you made of fight camp so far?
Fight camp's next level. To anything else that's going on at the minute, especially the setup, everything looks unbelievable. Like I was shocked myself. I thought that it was going to be good, but it was like next level. Fair play to Matchroom, to be fair, pulling this off sort of time of situation.
Boxing behind closed doors as well, Kieron. How do you obviously feel about that? Do you feel any? Do you feel that you'll be able to adapt to that better than what Navid will?
Maybe. I'm just focused on the fight. Yeah, the crowds are good. It's nice to have a crowd there. Nobody can deny that, and it does bring a little bit of a kick behind you. But sometimes that can cause mistakes. So now all we've got in that place is each other, and that's what we've got to focus on. So it could bring out the best boxing in both of us, to be fair, without the extra pressure of going that gear too soon, or you know what I mean, all the shouting behind you and stuff like that. To be fair, I've been there as a pro. I've been in an empty venue. I boxed on a Matchroom show in Peterborough, and the front doors weren't even open. Like literally, there was only Matchroom and Sky in there. I was like, "What is this?" It was quiet. It was so quiet. I could hear myself breathing.
Aside from the audience not being in attendance, Kieron, what do you feel the other biggest challenge that you might have to overcome throughout the week will be? Because it's obviously going to be very different circumstances to what you're used to at a normal fight week.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what other things we'll have to overcome, but I'm looking forward to the week. It's going to be different experience, and that's what it's about. And I'm looking forward to it.
Now, you mentioned that you're looking, provided you're successful come next weekend, you're looking towards bigger and better opportunities. You want to move up in kind of your opponents that you're getting into the ring with. One fight which took place in first fight camp was Sam Eggington and Ted Cheeseman. Ted Cheeseman victorious. Just reflect on that for me, Kieron. What was your thoughts on it?
It was entertaining, but what does that mean? Like that doesn't. I didn't see anything in either of them. Did I lose you there?
Just for a split second, yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't see anything in either of them to be worried about. They went toe to toe. They had a war, but yeah, it was entertaining, but levels will come out. When I boxed Ted last time, they got me the best possible opportunity they could, and it's different ball game this year. It's different.
Which fight, if you was down to you, who would you face after Navid? If you could take your pick of all of the light middleweights in the UK at least, who would be the name at the top of your list?
Ted Cheeseman, without doubt, because I'm got to the point where I'm sick of having this conversation. Nothing against you. I said this like in all my interviews. Like this conversation it's all anyone seems to ask me about, and got to a point where I've had enough. I want to put the record straight, and we can then put last year behind us where it belongs.
I can understand your frustration, obviously, and it's interesting because we're seeing fighters who, when they don't get the right decision or they don't get the decision that they want in a fight and they're unsuccessful, they're eager to kind of right that wrong. We've seen it with Anthony Fowler, Scott Fitzgerald, just another example. Would you be able to move past that, or do you feel like you need to fight Ted, you need to beat Ted to just kind of right that wrong before moving on with your career?
I can move on, but it's all anyone seems to ask about. Last year, what about last year? What about last year when you boxed Ted? Like, it's last year, and that's where we need to put it. And I think he will agree, because I'm sure he's fed up of answering the question as well. Like, it was a draw. We'll settle it, and the best man will win.
Despite the fact Sam lost to Ted, would you be willing to face Sam if the opportunity presented itself? Obviously, Sam's fought at a higher level than yourself so far in your career. Still a very respected name in the sport with what he has achieved so far. Would it be a fight that would interest you if Eddie proposed it?
Yeah, definitely. I think Sam's still a prestigious name. I think he's still got a bit of a good. I think he's got a good reputation. He's had a few losses, but he's still spoke about. He's still relevant. So definitely, he's up there with the top boys in this division. So it's one that's definitely a potential.
Kieron, been a pleasure to catch up with you. Thank you for your time as always, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
No problem. Thank you very much. Have a good one.